Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Well, I don't need to prompt you for the first question. The first question, I guess, is a leaf from what we just heard from the management of NCC. They are saying that as of now, none of the banks have really cut down rates on working capital and also on the term loans even after the rate cut. So do you think we should expect something very soon where the transmission and the effectiveness goes through?
Yeah. Actually, our MCLRs are cut by about 25 basis points on from 1st April. But for companies, actually, at the time of review renewal, this will be effective. So they may not feel the immediate impact. But when you look at MSME and retail, external benchmark linked rates are cut by 75 basis points immediately on 1st April. So they will be benefited immediately. But then for the larger companies, they have to wait for the renewal and review date, where the MCLR cut will be passed on.
Okay. What is your understanding of what is currently happening to the banking system? I mean, I appreciate the fact that, banks have made sure the economy is running, the ATMs are functioning, back end is still working. So, I mean, really kudos to a lot of banks and people who are really risking a lot of things to make sure the essential services are not disrupted. But what is the real story? How much bank transactions have dropped? What is happening to loan? What is happening to fresh disposals? What is happening to unsecured loans? Is everything at a standstill?
Actually, at branch levels, particularly small loans, has gone down a lot. And even the transaction-wise, the branch transactions came down by about 70-80% because of the lockdown. But ATMs are working fully. Even today, about 90-91% of the ATMs are up and running. So we are extensively using the business correspondents who are based at the village levels for payment. And I also want to bring to your notice today, the first tranche of a direct benefit transfer to the women beneficiaries of PMJDY is happening. The account numbers ending with 0 and 1 are getting the credit, and all branches are geared up to make this payment. So actually we are coping up actually, but then we need to understand at this point of time, keeping our staff safe, our customers safe, keep the basic services running is more important at this point of time. We are doing that. But then on the large and mid-corporate side, because they are being handled centrally, so even in the last week of March, we were doing a lot of disbursements. They are not stopped actually. So we are opening up the lines, and I was just hearing the NCC person speaking that 10% of the limit, actually even our bank has come out with a policy to give this 10% of the limits as an additional limit with a moratorium of 6 months. We have also put in place. We have received a lot of applications, and maybe first week of this April, we'll be clearing many of those proposals.
The RBI governor, Mr. Rai, referred to the fact that stock prices are forcing a lot of large investors to liquidate their deposits and their their term deposits from some of the banks. I don't know which category was he referring to, but what has been your experience? I mean, is it true that currently bulk of the deposits from small banks are getting liquidated and they are moving to only 2 or 3 large private banks or maybe 2 or 3 large PSU banks?
Actually, we observed this trend in third week and fourth week of March to some extent, but then I think that is over. Actually, people wanted to move, they have moved, and there were some liquidity issues which we took care, like some of the private banks came up with issuance of CDs and all that, which we subscribed. Hopefully, this is behind us. I don't foresee any problem going forward, because this was the reaction to a particular incident which happened. So some of the state governments and some of the departments would have moved their deposits out, and that is over now. I don't think this is a problem as we go forward.
Mr. Rai, what will be your policy on the moratorium? Will you be charging interest on the longer tenure loans, because this will take the cost up quite substantially and is likely to create a larger NPA?
Interest charging will continue to be there. Actually, it will continue to happen because we can't stop interest. Only thing is, there will not be any demand raised on the customer to pay that. So, in case of EMIs, as already explained, the whole EMI along with the interest gets deferred if the customer wants it. And then like other cases, actually, like it is already very clear in the RBI instructions that these 3 months they need not pay the interest. But then there is a lot of leeway given to banks by way of reassessing the working capital needs. So within these 3 months, we need to rework on the working capital assessment and giving them the additional limits to take care of this extra burden and all those things we have to work out. And also, I would like to highlight, because most of these manufacturing or service industries have stopped functioning. So maybe we have to relook at their cash flows, their receivable levels, and rework their requirements as they open up for business. So there will be a lot of work in every sector which banks have to do, and with the support of RBI and government, we may have to come with some relief measures also for these people to restart the business. So it is at this point of time, it is difficult to assess how it will span out. Once the immediate problem of the virus infection is over, maybe we'll start working on those issues.
Okay, and just from the customer's point of view, at a time like this when we are looking at difficulties overall in the economy that are bound to impact the banking sector as a whole, I also want to understand from a merger perspective, can you just tell us what customers really need to keep an eye out for and what they need to watch for?
Customers need not worry about anything. Actually, they will be quite better off with a better system which Union Bank has. So at the ground level, for the small customers, we have kept that interface between the branch and the customer same. So they will find the same branch, same staff, same manager, and then customers can deal with them. And directions and clarity is given to every branch, so that we have trained them well. So I think there will not be any issues for small customers. But large customers, we are directly communicating, and we will take care of all their issues. So there is no issue at all. So I think merger is not going to disturb any of the customer for his requirements. We will take care fully their needs.
Do you think as a culture now there could be a challenge in terms of the NPA cycle coming back? Some may happen because of compulsion, some may happen largely because of the business environment. And also, do you worry about MSE and SME companies, because that's where the problem is? A, they don't have good margins. B, they are the ones who are going to witness a huge impact of cash. Big companies, Mr. Rai, will still come back because of their cost of borrowing is low, their business processes are better. But do you expect that there is going to be a serious problem after 3 months, which we will start discovering about how bad the loan situation and on-ground situation for MSE and SMEs is?
Yeah, actually, this sector was going through some stress earlier to COVID-19 also. It is not that things were good then. Actually, there was some effect on the slowdown on them. And now this has added to their pain. So, but then we will definitely come out with the policies to support all the viable units. So viability is very important. The units which are already under stress, which cannot stand on their own. So there is no point giving them relief actually, because it is only postponing a problem. We need to work with the companies which are viable, and we need to support them fully. So policies are being worked out. We'll come out with the policies within the next 1 or 2 months. So as the moratorium period gets over, so we'll be back to business with all the support to these MSMEs. So all viable units will be supported, and they'll come back to normal.
Okay. Closing comments, Mr. Rai. Is Union Bank open for business? One side, you have to ensure that the back office, the digital transaction, everything else in terms of running the basics of the bank, which is keeping the ATMs fully liquid, keeping the ATMs fully functional is important. But what about giving new business, granting new loans? If somebody has a requirement for a term loan, let's say after 10 days, if somebody has a requirement for a personal loan immediately, are you open for business?
Yeah, we are open for business. Actually, we are adequately capitalized, and there is no issue. And we continue to do loans. As I was mentioning, in the month of March also, we have done a good number of disbursements. And in the month of April also, there are sanctions lined up. The disbursement will continue to happen. And we are receiving applications. At this point of time, most of the applications are to get that additional 10%. so which are getting sanctioned. And as we move forward, even the fresh applications will come in, and we are very sure that Union Bank will support all the right kind of business.
Okay, sir. Appreciate your time, Mr. Rai, and thank you for joining us. And stay safe and take care of yourself. Let's take a break. So far, so good. It's not like a spectacularly good market, but we are holding on. And Arvind Pharma is the one.